That is a nice sky. I have to say, Elpis does look pretty. But hello, and welcome back to Endwalker, continuing Sorin's journey through Final Fantasy XIV. There's the music. So, last time we finished up all the role quests for Endwalker, and Sorin finally returned to the first to meet Elidibus. And in a slightly unexpected turn of events has ended up in the past. Back in the world before it was sundered by Hythlodeus. We'll see if we can find out anything about the final days. So, let's see. Chat box away, I forgot about that. 60, 20, 100. Okay, that's fair enough. If that's the case, I should have my third reward then. I'm fairly certain I streamed for more than 3 hours yet on Tuesday. Composure regained, Hermes is ready to return to his duties. If everyone is ready, there are a few creations I need to check on. First, we shall return to the spot where we found our wayward ambystoma. Have care when you step outside a hub. There may be more unruly creatures about. Right. Well, I suppose I'm used to unruly creatures. Apparently not by whatever metric this thing uses. Oh, apparently not. See, it must be registering that I'm getting something, because I've got the Food of the Ephraim tickets. Part of me wonders if it's tied to chat use. Maybe? It's hard to say. Wait, is that... I can't remember if I noticed you before. Hello, XIV. These are the... Excuse me. The butterflies Hythlodeus turned into my robes. This here is a new species of Hythlodeus that we recently set loose. It has been doing very well, managing to maintain a stable existence thus far. If it can see its observation period to the end without issue, we shall release it onto the world. Tell me, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? I'm not sure I do. It is the presence of a soul. Yet, the soul isn't something you can choose to have at will. No, it manifests only in those beings whose forms adhere to the laws of creation. That can endure on their own. Beings that do not fulfill this requirement, such as those spontaneously born of magic or natural phenomenon, do not have souls. No matter how much it might resemble flora or fauna, if it lacks a soul, then it is considered an arcane entity. I think I get it. So you see, it is not for mankind to decide what is living. That domain lies beyond our manipulation. It is hubris to assume otherwise. But come, let us head to the nearby beacon. I've received a report that arcane entities have gathered there. For what time? Mostly birds and butterflies around here. Those are lightning sprites? Ah, yes. Lightning Numa, just as the report said. Although we call this structure a beacon due to its form, it's in fact a magical device. By manipulating the balance of elements, it keeps the isle airborne and maintains the climate thereupon. In the course of its operation, it often sees an internal shift towards a given element. Right now, that element is lightning, which draws the Numa here to replenish their ether. Right. It appears Meteon is busy. Would you care to assist me in her stead and feed the Numa? Of course. Feed the... By using this lightning converter, you can harness ambient lightning and focus it into a ball. Excuse me? A veritable feast for our dazzling friends. Go on, give it a try. Right. Never thought about feeding sprites before. Like this? Ooh. Maybe a little too close. Stand back this time. Like that? Perfectly done, Sorin. Look. See how they gather to feed. How they express themselves through their actions, despite their lack of words. Speech is not the sole-defining characteristic of a thinking, feeling creature, nor is silence an indication that they do not possess these qualities. Be it a soulless arcane entity such as the Numa, or an ephemeral life form such as the Petaluda, all seek to perpetuate their existence, to survive. If you don't mind me asking, which is Meteon? Does she have a soul? A good question. I can answer it from a theoretical standpoint, but it ultimately falls to the Bureau of the Architect to pass judgment. Those with exceptional vision, such as Hythlodeus, may be able to ascertain her true nature. But to me, it doesn't matter. She is herself. That is all I need to know. Oh, you've finished already? I'm sorry. I was in the way. Not to worry, my dear. They missed nothing of note. We still have plenty of work for them to observe. Next, we will head east to the Morning Dew. I need to speak with some observers there. Is Hermes really the same? I don't quite get how the Asian idea of reincarnation works, but is he really Fandaniel? Or is Daniel really him? It's a boo-boo. Still don't like how many teeth they have.
Amazing, is it not? The Ampelos. one of our newest subjects.
Amplos.
So, how are we coming along?
Those? Flung. They're here.
This place is Elpis. Those flowers. Elpis.
That's right. The Watcher said flowers were called elves as well.
Entelekis. Like me.
Endwalker? You'll have to explain that one to me.
They are a product of Elpis, and so named for their birthplace. A happy accident, born of the hands of a former researcher who loved beautiful blossoms. Unique for how they change color, to reflect the emotional state of those nearby. Though be it here or elsewhere, they are seldom seen in any hue save purest white.
Reflect the emotional state, you say? By what means do they achieve this?
In creation, there exists an energy wholly apart from ether, one driven by emotions.
Is this what Nadana was talking about? Akasha.
In like manner to how we manipulate ether, this flower is subject to the influence of said energy. While it has no will of its own, it is sensitive to the prevailing emotion in the vicinity, and reacts by altering its color and vibrancy.
That's
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feeling.
Akasha. Though I'm not familiar with the term, your description suggests it is the self-same energy. Dynamis, we call it. And those entities like the Elpis flower that have the ability to interact with this energy, converting emotions into tangible phenomena, are Entelekis.
right.
That's me. That's me. An Enteleki.
That you are, my dear. And no ordinary one at that, but the first possessed of free will.
She's
Wait. A form of energy other than ether? Dynamis?
mediums like the heart.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Hardly surprising. Dynamis cannot be seen, much less felt. And though its existence has long been theorized, we had no proof until the flower's serendipitous creation. What's more, Dynamis is far weaker than ether. Under normal circumstances, its effects are drowned out by the latter, on account of which, beings comprised of and reliant upon the ether, like you and I, are unable to make practical use of Dynamis. 'Tis a truly esoteric thing, known to but a select few scholars.
Intriguing. Then, given the limitations you described, why create Meteon?
Our star, Aetheris, is especially rich in ether, so much so that its name is derived from it. However, when we consider all energy in existence here and in the vast space beyond, Dynamis may account for as much as 68.3%.
That's
The more abundant form by far. Were we able to control it, we could open the door to limitless possibilities. 'Tis not unlike a gently flowing stream, unable to break through the dam of ether barring its path. But if we could imbue the stream with the vigor of a raging river... Not that I have such grand ambitions. Nay, I merely wish to create a being that could traverse the great expanse.
You mean, Medion's...
The relative scarcity of ether beyond the bounds of this star was a concern. And so, I looked to another source of energy by necessity.
He's clearly fun. Yeah, you don't make a speech like that if it hasn't occurred to you.
That being Dynamis. No wonder her ether is so thin.
Precisely.
So Medion's designed to travel to other stars?
Yours is thin too. Like an Endwalker. Like me.
Right, there's a complicated reason for that.
Are we the same? Endwalkers.
If I finish because Emet-Selch is no problem. I feel I'm somewhere in between. There are times I've... Oh, it's more snarky than I
That sounds
expected.
more akin to the desperate flailings of a wild beast when facing imminent death.
Well, maybe, but...
A deficit of ether alone does not an Endwalker make. It would, however, make it easier for you to interact with Dynamis. And limited though its influence may be, this quality could prove the difference between victory and defeat. You do well not to underestimate it.
Those times...
Oh dear.
Past.
I'd forgotten about the poor fellow. You must excuse me a moment while I go and verify a few more things.
Of course. Is this... Highlands at Flower would be my guide. Does this Dynamis have something to do with final days? Not that I or anyone else would be able to make use of it, even if we knew. But it irks me to discover that there's an entirely different form of energy, and no one told me. And personal annoyance aside, Hermes' knowledge is undeniably impressive. Given that there are none among the 14 who specialize in the Celestial, he would be a welcome addition. Assuming he can be persuaded to join, that is. Still can't understand his hesitation. I'm curious myself, but what's your specialization? Oh? You wish to know why Emet-Selch was chosen for the convocation? I should be glad to share the tale. It began when... Not another word. Lest you've forgotten, we're here to learn about Hermes. Not me. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I know where Hythlodeus' little sulk. My misspent youth is not your concern. Misspent youth? What was it? I'll not pry any further. Endwalker or no, we're friends. In Finness. Right. My apologies for the wait. I have inspected the Amplos to my satisfaction. All is well with the creature, but I dare say it won't be long ere it is released onto the world. Another creation, however, reportedly isn't faring so well. The Charybdis. That is what we shall tend to next. Oh, time to go digging for college here. Oh no. If you would follow me, my friends, we shall return to the main isle and head north. Right. North. I wonder if this Charybdis. Is this a creature I'd be familiar with? The Amplos is clearly a Uguay, but Sanoa? They are. Why is this one blue and shiny? I get turned into a newt for doing so, but Emmett turned me back. Oh, turned me back, okay. You hope. I'll stick you in a terrarium and his... They'll stick you in a terrarium somewhere and just knock on the glass to annoy you. I understand there is a problem with one of the Charybdis. Yes, that's right. As you know, the Charybdis is based on a sea creature. Owing to adjustments to enhance its affinity to wind, it is capable of flight. The specimens created from the concept could all fly without issue, but a problem arose in subsequent generations. This third generation creature was born with an etheric balance leaning strongly towards water. Its aquatic origin reasserting itself, it would seem. The result being its affinity to wind is diminished and it cannot fly. No matter what we try, we can't get it to rise even the slightest bit. And for such change to manifest in so few generations, I fear they are too unstable. I popped back on Steam, right? There might have been a little connection issue. Are my Steam pop-ups appearing on stream? They shouldn't. I think it's just like Steam has its connection hiccups fairly frequently. With your permission, I will revert the creatures, and recommend to the Bureau that the concept be revised. With its etheric balance leaning towards water, the Charybdis would indeed struggle to manipulate wind. Yet it is too early to conclude that it cannot fly. Having failed at first, it may simply have developed a fear. I shall transform and fly with it, helping it to manipulate wind until it finds its wings. What? You needn't go to such lengths. Transformation? You don't know. But of course not. Transformation is an art in which one manipulates a vast quantity of ether to construct another body around oneself. In practice, this allows one to assume any conceivable form, and thereby transcend the limits of one's flesh. Yet convenient though it may be, transforming in the presence of others is considered vainglorious in the extreme. As uncouth and unseemly as running about robeless. Shameful. Try to understand you make a habit of this. Nothing of the sort. It's just that when transformed, I can wield the wind and fly. It may seem excessive, but what is our shame next to the lives of these creatures? They deserve a chance, and we owe it to them to do all in our power. Be that as it may. Yes, I believe I have a solution. Emet-Selch, may I trouble you to move that Charybdis away from its fellows, somewhere out of sight? Meanwhile, I'd like the rest of you to help me prepare here. What mischief are you scheming now? Oh, no mischief, I assure you. I would but spare you the need to report to your colleagues that Hermes committed an indiscretion. So have a little faith and run along. I trust you don't mind. So, what do you need our help with? Emet-Selch is out of sight. Good. Let's speak of the plan. It's a stroke of genius, really. We have Emet-Selch trained to Charybdis. Emmet... he doesn't... I get the feeling I don't know how much he'd cooperate. Aside from being able to fly untransformed, he can readily see ether currents. And with his adept spellcraft, he can also employ suitable wind magics to guide the creature along. While he is indeed capable of all you described, it is not his duty. I am loath to trouble him with it. Oh, don't be. As I mentioned, it would also be for his own sake. If that's settled, let's begin at once. Sorin, I want you to go to Emet-Selch. Tell him that you have a favour to ask. He will be disinclined to cooperate at first, but you mustn't be discouraged. With our friend, the trick is to be unflaggingly persistent. Off you go now. Good luck. Right. Asking Emet-Selch for a favour. At least trust Hythlodeus on believing that he won't. Cooperation won't come easily. Oh, there's the Charybdis. You never asked me what favor I'm asking. Excuse me. Emet-Selch, I have a favor to ask. Oh, no, you don't. I'm not lifting a finger. I don't know what Hythlodeus is up to. That will not be made to know. I refuse. Please, Emet-Selch. It would be really helpful.
No, no, no. You are not foisting this nonsense on me.
I'm given to understand you have the power to help the Charybdis, and should be quite willing to do so. And so I appeal to your better nature, most benevolent Emet-Selch. Please teach her to fly.
Or else Hermes will transform. Right now.
Now, there's no need to go quite that far. Altruism is its own reward, as I'm sure he would agree.
Oh, would he now? And who contrived to put me in this position, pray tell?
Nothing so devious. I merely suggested a possible course of action.
You'll help, won't you?
Please, Emet-Selch. Please.
I did not come all this way to play nursemaid to your creations. I'd thank you to remember this favor and let it be the last.
What?
I will aid it once it has taken to the air. It falls to you to shepherd it skyward.
Is that...
Well, let's relax and enjoy the spectacle, shall we?
Right. Yes, my role's done.
You were wondering why Emet-Selch joined the convocation.
I suppose I am rather curious about him.
Truth be told, he wasn't the first choice for the office. I was, on the strength of my ability to see ether.
You could have been
But I
Emet-Selch?
declined the offer. For though my vision is exceptional, I am pedestrian in all other aspects. Worse even, quite abysmal when it comes to manipulating ether, for example. Couldn't transform even if I had a mind to do so. What good is the ability to perceive a problem if one cannot act to address it? Emet-Selch has no such shortcomings. He excels in vision and manipulation both, the latter to an extraordinary degree. If there is a mage more powerful, I do not know of them. Thus did I recommend him for the office in my stead. And I wasn't the only one. Far from it. Countless others vouched for his skill and character. People the world over, to whom he had previously lent a helping hand. Oh, how surprised he was. Claimed he hadn't done anything remarkable for anyone. Modest to a fault. He deserved every bit of acclaim he received. Yet he may well have gone unappreciated were it not for a mutual friend. A singular soul who can't help but involve himself in the business of others. Where he walks, excitement is certain to follow. His antics irritate Emet-Selch to no end. But much of his grumbling stems from genuine concern. When our friend calls, he never fails to answer and lend his talents. And in the course of doing so, he himself came to be recognized and respected by those around him. They are truly remarkable individuals, and I'm proud to call them friends. To help them realize their dreams. This will be my greatest contribution to our world, and when they have fulfilled their respective purposes, so too shall I have fulfilled mine, and together we may return to the star. Look at me, spilling my innermost secrets. I can't seem to help it with you. I can only assume it is due to the color of your soul. I just don't understand how you can be so alike and yet so different.
Well done, my pet. Well done!
It's fine.
Ah yes, I dare say the Charybdis will be fine here on. Why don't you go and signal to Emet-Selch? Let him know that his arduous task is at an end.
Right. Thanks for sharing. That's the kind of person Selch was. Suppose I always did know. Man who would do anything for his people. Emet-Selch! You're all done. Emerging from his reverie, Emet-Selch notices you and begins to descend with the Charybdis. Excuse me? I have no words to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, the Charybdis has learned to fly. And Sorin and I could relax and have a pleasant chat. I'm sure you did. The creature needed some small assistance at first, but soon it was flying more or less on its own. I doubt you will need to repeat the lesson. That was truly impressive. I witnessed it all from afar, and the Charybdis flies. Indeed, with this we've proven that even a creature with skewed etheric balance is capable of flight. Though we helped it to achieve this, the Charybdis is a herd animal. They may well aid their struggling kin in like fashion if and when the need arises. Keeping this in mind, I bid you continue observing them. If that is what you want. But if I may say so, rather than hoping an idealistic possibility comes to pass, would it not be simpler to have the concept adjusted? That way we could guarantee that anomalies such as this specimen are never born in the first place. These creatures are already here. We will spare no effort in giving them a chance to survive. As you wish, Chief. As you wish. Hermes. I'm fine. Don't worry. Well, that concludes all of my present tasks. Let us return to Anagnors for now. Right. Stampede? Is that a fate ending or a fate beginning? Ending from the looks of it. Things are concluding. If maybe now I have a chance to speak with Hermes about how I even broach the subject. What? Want to apologize for forcing me to help, do you? Save your breath. He didn't force me to do anything. I merely chose the most expeditious way to have done with an impediment to our business. Right. Yeah. Hermes, is everything alright? Tell me, Sorin, in the course of watching me, have you learned aught of value? In the... anything of... I have to admit to being rather curious in this dynamis you speak of. Dynamis, you say? Curious that such an obscure phenomenon should be of interest to you. Chief Hermes, what good fortune to find you here. Is something the matter? Decal, I'm afraid it's done it again. No sooner did we release one for observation than it set upon the nearby occupants, slaughtering them. Was the creature hungry or somehow provoked? I had just fed them myself, and the occupants were keeping a wide berth. It is the nature of the Icheon that is to blame, their innate viciousness. Temperament aside, it is an outstanding creation, perfect in form and function. Though it may not be suited for release, I've no doubt that the Bureau will accept its concept for preservation. In any case, there's no point in postponing the inevitable. Doros will revert them all once the paperwork is in order. Where is the scene of the incident? Just off the path to the 12 Wonders. As you make your way, you should see it on the left. I don't know if Doris is still there, however. Hermes, wait! Is something wrong? If this is part of his work, then I would observe. We follow. Right. The 12 Wonders. I'm not familiar, but there was no mention of the 12 Wonders on the path we came from, so maybe the other way? To the left. I don't see anything. Wait, there they are. This is... The lacerations and burns are unmistakable. Lycion was indeed responsible. But the creature is nowhere to be seen. Doros must have taken it away. The man makes his base at the 12 Wonders. We shall go and seek him out there. Emet-Selch and I will search the area for good measure, and just to make sure the Lycion did not escape. My thanks. Let us meet at the 12 Wonders when you have finished. I will go on ahead. Please follow with Sorin. Come, come. It's down this path and over the bridge. I guess I'm going with Medion. Where this Medion is. Medion? Where did she... That bridge? There's an Aoife right there. I wonder if this is... It's a long way down. And the cloud and the fog sort of rolled in again. There it is. The 12 Wonders. Hermes is looking for doors. Let's look for doors too. He's a man with long blonde hair. I think. I'll know him when I see him. Right. Long blonde hair. Come on, let's find doors. He's a man with long blonde hair. I think. No comments about the 12 Wonders. Or a minute tuning, I suppose. Excuse me. Doros! That's Doros! Well now, if it isn't Medion, what brings you here? Ah, I thought I heard familiar voices. I didn't realize you two had decided to help me search for doors. Thank you. Of course. You're in charge of the Lycians, I believe. Where are they now? Out in the fields in restraints. Frenzies as they were, I couldn't well return them to Kitsis. Once I've submitted my report, I'll see them reverted without delay. As he says. The beasts are indeed quite ferocious. You're one of the 14. What brings you here? Nothing you need concern yourself with. As you were. We've heard the news that the Lycians slaughtered occupants. As the observer in charge, you are of the opinion that they are not fit to be released? Aye, I am. Their abnormal aggression and exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lycians would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Could it be that the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them. All exhibited the same tendencies. Even when we used Kairos to begin with a fresh slate, their behavior was unchanged. Kairos? A memory reconfiguration system. The chief himself created it. It allows us to erase or alter memories. That way we may observe creations in different environmental conditions, without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive, and potentially dangerous. Depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions, Ashtoreth may wish to have words with you. Rest assured I've kept all values within prescribed limits, and to prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorized by the Chief Overseer. Do not misunderstand. To manipulate a subject's memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor, but it is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief. Let's not be so melodramatic. What was born of Aoife is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but you mustn't lose sight of the bigger picture. Making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If a creation cannot be properly studied even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If a creation is deemed a detrimental existence, we unmake it. 'Tis all for the greater good, and none question the necessity of such routine processes. I understand these things. I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat onto the world. Yet, insignificant though their individual lives may be next to all creation, it is all the like humans have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to these beings to exhaust all options, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist. Let me provide you with a full report. We may take it from there. Oh, you've got the mount? I still haven't gotten any notifications on Twitch for any new unlocks. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion? Did Emet-Selch might better carry out his duties? By all means. And pray show him to the meeting room. Medion? She? Are you okay? Man, other beings are just things to be used and controlled, like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. Isn't it? I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Excuse me? Medion, are you feeling unwell? It's not me, Hermes, it's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with Sorin. Loath though I am to impose, may I leave Medion in your care again? Of course. I'm in your debt. If you'll excuse me. Can you help me with something, Sorin? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up. With a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most. Of all creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting, or beautiful, or strong. Better in some way. But flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions. What we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one. I want you to search with me. Let's start here, at 12 Wonders. Right. Flowers. You might have to advise me, Medion. Is there anything you know that Hermes likes in particular? What about these ones? Oh, so big and bright. I love them. But they may be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. Okay, so not too bright. can't see anything in the tree. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. Right. Just a little look outside, I suppose. I'll probably pop by for a minute. Killing things when Hermes is about? Nah, really? Just so people thousands of years in the future can get some samples. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colours forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Right. Is that a mob trap? Ooh! Conion! A flower that can move! When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good, Sorin, at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Something was marked for death time. Wait, could you not have waited till Hermes wasn't about? More bulls. Lovely. Still nothing here. Nothing around here. Ah! Over there, Sorin. Something big. Huge. He's in the building. He didn't hear it. Yeah, but who has to file the paperwork on it? Doesn't seem aggressive, at least, but Medion, I don't think we can give him anything a horrible has touched. Yeah. Not as bad as some I've met, but still bad. It's an Adonis. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes had expected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think, Sorin? Would you like it? That's probably not a good memory of that he has, Bidion. So, not this one either. Maybe a good flower. It's harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Sorin, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there. I'll pick something after that, I promise. Alright, a little further. Be careful of the griffins. There are some flowers around here. They're not too vibrant. Any thoughts, Medion? There's nothing. That shiny thing over there. What could it be? Over here? Heart blooms. Elpis flowers. Whoa! Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're Endwalkers. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always white and bright. Truly, the flowers darken your home. Then, do you have it too? A dark emotion? I kind of want to pick a specific one, but I also kind of think that I don't know if someone would single anything in particular out. Nothing else. I've lost a lot on my way here. Stuff that hurts. I see. Hermes is known the same. The feeling that a part of you is gone. Again and again, but no one notices. Please, Sorin, won't you lend it to me? Your pain and sorrow. I want you to make the flower dark. In front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. I'll do my best. Truly, you'll do it? I will. Thank you, Sorin. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. Can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. Medion? Yes, she's run all the way back. Just here. Are they still in the meeting? It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they've finished. Hermes?
Hermes!
All finished?
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emet-Selch and Hythlodeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on.
Just remember.
You're You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteion has shared much with you.
Sorry if it was crying.
May we talk a moment?
Of course. Hello. Scared, I guess.
I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear, and it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread. But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Alpes, or if you only did it at Meteion's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
Be of some help to someone.
To so willingly.
I don't mean to skip. Sometimes I feel my mouse is too sensitive.
Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of Dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters.
Sisters. There's...
Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey. traveling to one star and then the next in search of life, as one might expect. Exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it.
It's amazing you've even sending people out to the stars.
But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness.
I'd be glad to hear it.
It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow.
Of course.
Come, Meteion. Let us head back.
All right.
Meteion? Is everything alright? An all too brief interlude, perhaps. But it is time I attend to my next task. As Emet-Selch and Hythlodeus are aware, I've reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycaons. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doros has followed the correct protocols, and, as Chief Overseer, I can find no fault in his judgment. Lycaons would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect and have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodeus has pledged to support me in this endeavor. Yet, whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaons have served their purpose. Doros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course. Let us be off then. We return to the main aisle. Right. Yes. He is before, isn't it? For me to understand. Are you okay? Doors, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4. The other 3 escaped. I see them. The 2 have taken to the air above the 12 Wonders. Last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You and Sorin handle that one. The repair in the sky you can leave to me. Right. If this is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emet-Selch, unneeded though it is. Meteon, you are to stay here with Doros. But Hermes, the Lycaons must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping, then please, follow my lead. There it is. I appreciate your help, and lament it is necessary. There it is, our quarry. Within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here is my plan. You will approach slowly, in full view, and draw the Lycaon's attention. Now, I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not. By my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught for a few brief moments, and that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Then let us begin. Alright. Maybe I can... It's not quite what I was expecting. When he said orbs of fire. Two of them. Aquila, I might need a hand here. Oh. Right. I've got your attention now, don't I?
Now.
That was...
Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. You're worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Fandaniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
What am I here for? Something I can learn. Your Lycaons have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life in Elpis continues as normal. Or ends, as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. But never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you, Sorin? Will you continue along with us? If you'll have me. Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis, and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnosis. Name, I don't know how to pronounce it. if there's much point in teleporting. Gonna roll a for currents. Maybe I'll get around to doing it at some point. But for now, I want to continue. Where? All the way? We're going all the way back? Let's see. Here. There they are. From here, we follow the path northwards and not an S. There we will find one of the Naus, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once. Henceforth, you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Right. This reminds me of the teleporters in Azazla. Won't be too different, I imagine. That's kind of remind me of an Ephorite. Here we are. Not an S. And this nest will take us to Calimelius Zephyros, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way, and we can soon admire the view from above. Oh, right. Oh. Still haven't gotten a notification about the mount.
I present to you Calimelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by...
Spriggan.
Well, an Arrhaeus.
Arrhaeus,
How
right.
delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
A shark?
That's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst, concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end I couldn't deny their passion.
The shark is...
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you here.
That's... Eidolon?
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star.
Right.
Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work.
She was.
Benar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
She was. Azem?
It has been a while, Hythlodeus. You look well. Less so, Emet-Selch. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are?
That's, my name's Sorin Sherwood.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
I don't know what...
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you.
Blessing of light.
Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
That's...
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
That would be right. Blessing of light. That's what I call it anyway.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
Right.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
Right.
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
Can't change anything, then it's a long story, but
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
you've accepted this pretty quickly.
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
With Emet-Selch here as well.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself.
I have my reasons.
As a representative of the convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Right. I can't promise you'll like it.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation?
Thank you. This is the opposite.
I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it.
Meant to meet?
Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
She is hiding, then. My apologies. But before we move along, my colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept-engraved crystal, and a quick-fingered Aureus which made off of it. An Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus. There's no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal, you see. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Can I ask you to join the search? I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Of course. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Poiton Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Right. Forests to the west. Those are... life forms around here certainly are large. Get a better view from here. There was a ramp right there. Right. Any sign of anything, I suppose? Guess I'll try looking on the lower areas. Oh, is that something in the grass? This is a concept crystal. I don't know if it's the right one, but it's something. Just try and avoid the wildlife. Our lost searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better? I found a crystal. Is this the one you're looking for? A crystal. Well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? I've often been asked to look out for things. You could say that. Oh, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Asm, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or a new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning this habitat, the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? The problem you present is vexing enough without adding the old Asm into the equation. She wonders why these lines upon my brow grow deeper when she herself wields the hammer and chisel. Is Emet-Selch just a tsundere at heart? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, it is time I returned this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Right. Building at the top of the slope. Tune to this quickly, woman. Sorin wouldn't recognize elementals. I think the only time you really see them is during the Conjurer and White Mage quest lines. This building? Welcome to my temporary abode. Please, make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Right, I'm sharing... everything.
Ah, a wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like.
Thank you.
Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Right. It's... I suppose I should start at the beginning. I come from a world that is a future where the world is sundered, fragmented.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Right.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hythlodeus? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide.
Right.
That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
That's what I don't know.
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Hythlodeus did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hythlodeus is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emet-Selch! Wait!
Can't blame him.
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
I don't know. I didn't have much to go on when I arrived here.
Then for now, it might be best that we follow your lead and investigate he who will become Fandaniel. And if Dynamis is the self-same energy as Akasha, as it likely seems, we would do well to learn more about it. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest.
Thank you.
Have faith. If Emet-Selch is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
So, even if we were enemies once, he's... can't help but respect everything he tried to do for his people. Shall we begin our investigations, then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the Chief Overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the tried-and-true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Medion, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. Vena? Where? Over there. At least the color of her robes make her easier to spot. See you the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Go and ask your questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Right. Excuse me. Questions? For me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes. I was wondering if you might indulge him. Certainly, Mistress Vena. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? In your eyes, what kind of person is Hermes? I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man. Reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? Well, how long has Medion been with him? I cannot rightly say. As the chief's personal creation, Medion has not been subjected to observation and study like other concepts. So one day she was simply there. And what do you make of her abilities? I understand that she is a highly unusual familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. Excuse me? My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Is it the kind of thing you'd want to talk to him about? The chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. Though, if you wish to learn more about Medion, you could try speaking with Timaeus, another expert in the creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the banks of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Yawning has begun. We shall keep it in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please don't hesitate to ask. Come, Sorin. I think we've taken enough of Ismin's time. Right. So I suppose we're looking for this Timaeus, huh? Our investigation is off to a fine start. Wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers. If you could track down the colleague Ismin mentioned. Well, I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during that previous conversation. You seem more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you've finished speaking with this Timaeus. All right. Down by the stream. Staff? Excuse me. Never yawn. Yes, I'm Timaeus. Please, keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. Sorry. You don't have time for a couple of questions, do you? So, what is it you wish to speak about? I was wondering if I could ask you about Chief Hermes' creations. Chief Hermes were a worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and grateful, are ever a favourite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, hovers which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Where does Meteon fit into that? My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteon as a concept, I've never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. Excuse me? If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Meteon's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny. Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. Chief Hermes, he wouldn't have spoken to you at all of Endwalker and Dynamis, would he? Dynamis and Endwalker. Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Not exactly. Why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now, I really must return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. Suppose that's... I don't know how much I actually learned from that. Gordon... People don't really know about Meteon too well. Back already! That was quick work. You're obviously clever enough to head off any of that rambling Ismene mentioned. So, have you any new findings to share? Well, not really. I see. Even an expert in the field had little understanding of Meteon's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Meteon as his personal project and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis, and the Endwalker which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth. Except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I am inclined to stay our current course, and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And, on that subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Meteon, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? Well, Hermes told me that she's not the only one. She has sisters. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? I can explain a little, but Hermes didn't tell me too much. So these siblings of hers now traveled a great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Peripetia Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. The west. Right. That building, or... I'll assume one of these buildings. No sign of Banana there. There she is. This tower and the one further along are both part of Peripetia Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Elpis' observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lessons short, and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. Right. Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but... You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Oh, now, what was it you wished to speak with me about? Well, I was wondering if I could ask about Chief Hermes and Medion. The Chief Overseer's personal research project. And by that I assume you mean Medion. Yes. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Medion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although, I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Ghislaine shared with me. An interesting tale? Ah, Ghislaine is my partner, and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Medion heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. But Mistress Vanna, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me again to thank you for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you favour me with a retelling of this sight which so delighted your Ghislaine? Of course, or you could hear it from her lips directly, if you prefer. At present, she should be observing a subject in Metabasios Phallici. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Vanna. even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. There's a rest well deserved, long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Asm. And what would Elidibus be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis for many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul alive more worthy of return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I'll be honoured. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet with Ghislaine in person? Of course. Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. It will take you up to the Skyway, and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful. Thank you. I have opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across to the next tower, and ask for admittance to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway, and you will find yourself at the entrance to Metabasios Phalasai. Ghislaine will be eager to share her tale with you, I'm sure. Right, here we... Certainly a view from up here. Mr. Spina, just passing through. Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two on the out on the upper Skyway. But certainly does seem popular. That's where I arrived. Would be the first island I visited. Down there, that's... Yeah, I can recognize the flower beds. That's the 12 Wonders. I wonder what those islands over there are. I'm not here as a tourist. Sorry for keeping you. Mr. Spina, I was not told to expect. We would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there's no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Ghislaine, if that might be arranged. Yes, Ghislaine, of course. I will inform her immediately. But she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
It certainly is.
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
I don't mean to. It's... It varies. Some places certainly are.
Dark, hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
Where to begin? Fun.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it.
I am dropping a lot of frames. I'm in the middle of a cutscene. I can't do too much about that. It does just seem to be kind of random when it happens.
Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue.
I blame Twitch for it. I just noticed I got the... just got the mount whistle. Okay, it's still... The drop frames are going up, though, so I'm going to hold out a little. It's not jumping up as badly as it has in the past. Frame dropping thing that's been happening recently is starting to bug me. Because I don't know what the cause is. I'm just gonna give it a moment to... Nope, still going up. Exactly 1500 drop frames. Is it going to rest there? Oh, no, it's not. It's going up again. Hey. I do wonder what is causing the bitrate drop that I've been getting. It's been fairly stable streaming up till now. I don't know why all of a sudden in this last week my internet has suddenly decided, nah, we're gonna start having these little crashes. Give it another moment and see if I can avoid any more. Otherwise I might just have to kind of continue. And see if moving on to a different part in the game helps. But frames are still dropping. think I just have to. I think I just have to continue.
To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true, and a presence without. Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning. And my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. A moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up, then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Metea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Maybe we should investigate.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
Thank you. Drops today seem to be different than usual. Like, it's definitely not, the numbers definitely not jumping up as much, but it's kind of being a little more persistent. So, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter the more likely possibility. Proceeding under that assumption, our next step should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Doesn't seem like the kind who would wish ill on others like that. I should like to visit the site from which Hermes sent forth the Metea. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint of what drives this research of his. Delane said she spotted them in the southeast, rising from an isle she could see from the edge. If we stand at that same vantage point, it should not prove too difficult to locate the isle in question. Let's take a look, shall we? Right. Frame drop issue does bug me a little. Not see. I wish I knew what the cause was. I can't really do much about it if I don't know what I'm supposed to be fixing. This is the right part of the island. There, I wonder? Couple in that direction. If I were conducting some mystery research, where would I go? What about that one? Have you the means to fly? It is quite a distance away. Not presently. Inconvenient, but hardly an insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. Argos? Hello again. My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Sorin here over to that island? Stubborn creature. There's no place on this great star we have not together travelled. Still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. He was fine last time. You've ridden him before. Your before meaning my after. Not at all confusing, that. Interesting. It is certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of the here and now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. Spar with you? Demonstrate to him you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argos that you are worthy of his back. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two into the bargain. He seemed doubtful, but a useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember. A memory of the distant past to cherish. What say you, traveller out of time? If you think this is the best option. I had a feeling you might say something like that. Know that you must give a good showing, however. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I will await you at the clearing over yonder. Really don't like that the number of drop frames is just creeping up consistently. If it hasn't stopped at the end of the instance, I might finish up just at the next quest. Which, to be fair, I'm nearly at time anyway. Do I feel most confident in fighting? I don't know. Fighting. Go for red magic. I hope you don't mind a change of clothes. Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you. Alright. We're doing this?
Let neither side hold back.
Ow! That's...
My blade sings!
Careful. Careful. Oops. Now what?
blade sings!
I learned as a paladin.
Impressive. I shall have to try something different.
That's
No quarter.
dancers. I suppose if I can manage multiple skills, I shouldn't be surprised she.
Have a taste.
Oh, this one. Boy.
I see you won't be easily overcome, but neither will I.
This is... I'm not quite sure, but white magic? Yep. Careful here.
Prepare yourself.
Careful. Ow. Just need to... Have I proven anything yet? Careful, I think I felt some lag there, which I'm...
Very well. Let us move to the final trial.
Oh, all right. Be careful. Very careful. That's not good. Really not good. Did I steal more? Is that enough? Oh, this is not good.
Break your chains, shed your burdens, and show me your strength of will!
Just hold on.
You still stand. The people of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope.
Just
I have
barely.
seen enough.
I thought that was enough. I appreciate Vanad just going, let's have a sparring match, and drops an LB3 on you.
'Twas my intent to finish it, but clearly I underestimated you.
I've been through my fair share of trials.
One would think I never learn. I made the same mistake with Azam when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, his strength was astounding. As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys.
Argos? He split. That means...
Well now, I dare say he has warmed to you. A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
Is that why back in Mare Lamentorum he remembered me? Argos will soon have us standing on the very spot where the Meteor made their departure into the night sky. With luck, we will learn something of Hermes' intentions. My hope is that we find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. Then we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us, rather than against us. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for today, because yeah, the bit rate is still crying a little bit. So, what progress was made? Not as much progress as I had hoped to make. I think I forgot how much happens in Elpis. And I think I forgot about a lot of the in-between quests between the main points. But I feel next stream will probably finish off Elpis. And that will be tomorrow. That will be 7 PM BST. Because I realized I forgot to put up the schedule this week, and now that there's one stream left, I feel I don't know how much value there is in putting it up. But, yeah, for now I'm going to finish up, and hopefully the bitrate will be better tomorrow. It was fine on Tuesday, so I don't know why it's unhappy today. But I will be back tomorrow. So, until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until the next time I see you, have a good evening, have a good night, and goodbye.